Hi, I'm Pam and I'm here to talk about video games. Today I'm continuing with my top 100 games of all time, this time covering numbers 40 to 36. 40 is from one of Nintendo's most popular series, and it's the reason I bought my N64. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time was developed by Nintendo and released for the N64 in 1998. It's the first of the series to use 3D graphics, and the first of the series that I played. As Link, you, do all the things Link usually does. Find the Triforce, defeat Ganon, alternate between saving Zelda and doing her bidding. It's really not a game one plays for original story. The gameplay, though, was tons of fun. Hyrule was a joy to explore. There was always some kind of secret or treasure to find, and I could ride Epona around for hours. Each of the dungeons was a perfect combination of fighting and puzzle solving. Using your equipment, like the hookshot, and different songs on the ocarina to open new passages and get through each area was always engaging. The ending boss fights in each dungeon were varied and required different strategies. I even love the water temple. It's really just one easily missable switch that makes that place difficult. Plus, there were great minigames. I loved the shooting galleries and the race to win Epona. I remember going out and buying a rumble pack specifically so that I could fish. The animations and sounds are some of the most memorable and exciting in games. Opening a chest, spilling with light to find some new treasure while that iconic tune plays is always a rush. Next is the game that introduced me to the weird and wonderful world of full motion video. Under a Killing Moon was developed by Access Software and released on PC in 1994. It's an adventure game where you play private investigator Tex Murphy. Set in a post-World War III San Francisco, Tex takes on a seemingly simple case that turns into something much bigger as he ends up racing to stop the crusade of a dangerous cult. This game influenced a lot of my interests growing up. It inspired my love for FMV games and even my interest in noir, both film and books. Under a Killing Moon set a really high standard for FMV games that for me hasn't been outdone outside the other games in the Tex Murphy series. The acting in the game is surprisingly competent. It's certainly not without a certain cheese factor, but it demonstrates a lot of self-awareness. When it's being corny, it's doing it on purpose. It also features a lot more interaction than your typical FMV game, allowing you to roam around a 3D environment, finding people to talk to and things to interact with. There's also a very cool travel system and one of the greatest hint systems I've seen in a game. The story, characters, and humor have always stuck with me, and it has a great soundtrack. Much like the sound of a chest opening in a Zelda game, the music that plays during the intro to each day in Under a Killing Moon always gets me pumped, and it's one of the most nostalgic sounds in video games for me. 38 takes place a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic was developed by BioWare and released for Xbox in 2003. Taking place a long, long time ago, a few millennia before the formation of the Galactic Empire, the Sith Lord Darth Malak is attacking the Jedi and the Republic. You play a character of mysterious origins who must defeat Malak or join the dark side yourself. I've been a Star Wars fan for pretty much my whole life, and this was the first game that really made me feel like I was in Star Wars. Most games based on the franchise focus on action, flying X-Wings, shooting blasters, but this one made me feel like I was part of the world. It let me interact with cool aliens, visit bustling spaceports and barren planets alike, and feel the influence of the Force itself. Through the game, you get to make a ton of decisions which shape your character and get to know a bevy of fascinating characters. My favorite? Well, it's obviously the snarky assassin droid HK-47.
Shall we find something to kill to cheer ourselves up?
But most of the others are great too. Except that meatbag Karth. Looking back on this game also makes me appreciate how much BioWare learned from making it. Though the world is different, it's very clear that without KOTOR, Mass Effect as we know it would not exist. The next game? It lets me be Batman. Batman Arkham Asylum was developed by Rocksteady Studios and released in 2009. It's an action-adventure game which traps Batman in Arkham Asylum, where all the villains of Gotham happen to be. The stealth, combo-based combat, and takedowns are fun, but it's all the little touches and side content in the game that really make me love it. The environment is great. It's not too big, as the series hadn't yet gone open world. The designers put all kinds of great little details into each area, with visual references to various Gotham characters to find. You flow through the game in a directed way, but when you get access to a new Bat gadget, you can go back and find hidden things you couldn't access the first time. The Riddler puzzles are one of the real standouts in the game. You'd get little hints like Gotham's greatest family towers over the city, and you'd have to use detective vision to scan what the clue was referring to. In this case, the Wayne Tower in the Gotham skyline. There were also areas where you'd need to scan the Riddler's question mark symbol, but it would be split into pieces. You'd need to find the right perspective to make it line up properly. I was really disappointed when these particular puzzle types weren't included in the later games, and they're part of what makes Arkham Asylum the best of the series for me. Also, the Scarecrow segments? Amazing. 36 is another one where I'm going to cheat a little. It's a series of games that keeps me up playing until 4 AM, because I just need one more turn. Civilization was first developed by Microprose and released in 1991. Over the next 25 years, there were a number of other releases, going all the way up to Civ 6 and including a number of spin-offs or side games. In each game, you're tasked with picking a civilization and building it from the ground up, with the goal of being the best, or maybe the only civilization left standing. I didn't get into the series until the second game, where you could win by either defeating the rest in war, or by securing a technological victory by being the first civilization to launch a spaceship and reach Alpha Centauri. I really loved the throne room concept in Civ 2. Your subjects would bring you presents to decorate it when they were happy with you. I was always sad this wasn't a feature in the later games. When it comes to which game I spent the most time with though, it was definitely Civ 5. Steam tells me I've spent 156 hours with it. By the 5th game, you could win the game in a number of ways, which was great for me since I was never much of a warmonger. In 5, you can also score cultural or diplomatic victories, in addition to technology victory. I always attempted to have a peaceful society, where I focused on building world wonders and impressing those around me. It was a lot of fun going through the game as each of the civilizations available. That's it for this episode. The next one features a couple spooky games and a kind of controversial JRPG choice. I hope you'll come back for it. If you missed it, check out the last episode in this series, or watch my full review of Under a Killing Moon. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.